Every United fan has a story. We have a million despite being from a nation that's probably not known for its football fandom. Welcome to Not Another United podcast, where three friends are going to share their thoughts on Manchester United, their love, their passion, their opinions, thoughts, and multiple other stories. I'm Bhupinder, and with me are Tushar and Siddharth. And you might have heard multiple United podcasts. This is a very different one. We have interesting sections for you. And to start off this beautiful podcast, we will start off with a section called the theatre, where we discuss what happened over the previous weekend. Gentlemen, how good was our week?
पाकिस्तान का कौन है यहाँ पे? इंडिया में तो बहुत फैंडम है भाई. But welcome Bhuppi. After a 2 week break, we've managed to finally sit together, I think for the first time in 2 months. Godspeed, of course. Raj Shamani, here we come. Baki हाँ, Brighton. Siddharth, over to you. You can start. अच्छा चल मैं शुरू करता हूँ. Sid meanwhile can fix his stuff. Of course, it goes without saying कि we're in a very good place, right? And but overarching, the stability that I feel right now in terms of me watching matches, my emotional health, my mental health, it is at its peak. I don't want to मतलब कि भाई नजर ना लगे किसकी इस चीज पे. So I'll let you to speak first. Bhupi, maybe you can start.
I think after a very long time, all of us are feeling positive. We were used to a lot of disappointment बीच में, and we were okay with it to an extent. क्योंकि well, we had a lot of negative players. The dressing room was negative. Bunch of things. All of a sudden, there is
Results,
so
yeah.
much positivity, and this is the most excited anyone can be if you're a United fan, at least in the
Yeah, I
last 2
think
years. So great
I hope
game,
I'm
great
audible now.
performance.
I think this feels
Yeah.
different because of the players that we have. मतलब पहले भी हमारा ऐसा सुन तो ले भाई
ये तो
सुन तो
क्वेश्चन
ले
ही नहीं था.
ज्यादा स्मार्टेस्ट बाद में बनी हो
हम्म.
so पहले भी सेम रन्स पे हम लोग गए हैं but the fact that there is no negativity in the dressing room this feels different than the previous runs that we've been on. Tushar and I was discussing in the previous recording दैट हम लास्ट ईयर भी गए थे बट लास्ट ईयर भी हमने सिटी को हराया था बट अगेन वी barely won against the next opponent. This time we defeated Brighton convincingly, and Brighton has been a bogey team, and to defeat them at home convincingly, I think that paints a different picture altogether.
Who's your man of the
Bruno
match?
for me.
If he would not have scored the second goal,
No,
even
then
then,
that would have been Cunha.
Bhuppi.
Very close, but I think I'll go for Mbumo simply because he was megging everyone all over. He brought a very good sense of control for us over the game. Uh, Whenever he had the ball, there was something that was bound to happen. It felt like that. So I'd give it to
Tushar.
him.
So during the match, I was feeling that Bruno. I just felt that he's back to his best, without, of course, scoring, without maybe like he's not directly assisted either, right? But I felt that he was back to his best. He was everywhere. The third goal again, similar to what he did against Liverpool, right? That Maguire cross. That third goal, I don't think many players are doing that. Many players in the world are doing that. Mbumo, I felt, yeah, he was decent, of course, even without the second goal. And Cunha is, again, I mean, he's putting in, I think, 8 out of 10 performances, even without scoring. But yeah, Bruno and Cunha would have been mine. It would be tough to choose between them.
On Bruno, he gave an
Uh,
assist without really getting an assist. What a beautiful fake that was.
Exactly.
yeah.
नहीं, and real time में भी समझ में आ गया था what he has done, but when you see it later and you see that he has quickly checked where the other, like where Mbumo is, that just added I mean, this scanning, right? It's such a basic thing, but matlab, yeah, what he did was pretty. And again, he did it at a crucial juncture. Last match, he did the same thing against Liverpool as well. I think we all want to discuss this. Has United finally turned a corner? And if there are certain unique things that give you optimism outside of the obvious, because we know that yes, we are winning, we are breaking a few of our own shitty records, which don't matter as much. But yeah, we are near the. I mean, we're near the top four after a really long time. We could easily be top two by the end of this weekend. So yeah, any unique things that give you optimism, which wasn't the case in the past few seasons, and
So I think
has
if
United
you
finally turned a
remove
corner?
the
Yes or no?
matches against City primarily, where we were outplayed, outmaneuvered, outplayed tactically, every other match has been a close match. Even the one that we lost, Arsenal and Brentford, a match of fine margins, which was not the case earlier. So I feel that results are now catching up to the performances that we've been putting, and therefore we have turned the corner. Uh, a small, two small instances, not small, but small observation that even at 3-2, we could have, easily conceded another goal, but we hung in and we scored the fourth one, which gives me optimism that this team, while, coming from such a difficult season, is bouncing back mentally as well, which is extremely important, in elite sport. Even at Liverpool at 1-1, we could have conceded and lost the match easily, but then we hung on to our lead. I think that gives me optimism. That gives me, a sense of belief in this team.
You have we turned a corner, and then certain unique pointers that give you hope?
There is, so I think we have, but I also want to be a little pragmatic. There were a lot of decisions in this game that were very debatable. We probably should have got a penalty at the start. Similarly, on any game, right? Dogu wala that tackle, the last man, the last ditch tackle, it could have been a
That
red card
wouldn't
for
have
all
been
you
a
know.
that
I mean,
wouldn't have
obviously
been a
Brighton
red
will.
card, यार.
It's a dicey.
नहीं होता यार,
It's a
वो
dicey
वो
decision.
Clear goal
कीपर के
scoring
पास already
opportunity.
ball
The
जा
player was
चुका था
already
by the
down.
time the foul was made.
Hmm.
No, I'm saying there were a few dicey decisions. Okay, even the second,
Yeah,
the third goal that
there
we
were.
scored, Luke
Yeah,
Shaw
yeah.
committed a foul, right, while winning over the press. So, if situations like that happen, there was a lot of fair fortune which is required in any game. We played way better than many other in most of our other matches that we have put in, right? So I'm happy that we are playing well. There is a lot of positivity, but we cannot also rely on these little nuances of the game. We have to be careful. तो उस एंगल से आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू बी अ लिटिल pragmatic and be practical कि कुछ भी हो सकता है.
इसको
I want
pragmatic
to
नहीं,
believe
इसको
that
buskill
yes, सब
बोलते
सही
हैं.
हो रहा है. नहीं यार, I'm just trying to be realistic here that we have to keep doing more and we'll have to keep playing and consistently performing. And right now we've scored 4 goals for the first time under Ruben Amorim. Right, so that is something we'll have to build further on. We have beaten our bogey team, so I'm glad कि वो that's off our shoulders, off our neck. So that's a positive. The summer signings have been a
Yeah,
massive
absolutely. Summer signings give me the
boost
most
for
hope.
us.
कि यार summer signings की वजह से I feel that we have turned the corner.
हाँ.
We don't have single bad egg in our team right now. That's the
Yes.
thing that gives me most hope.
When life gives you lemons, make lemonade.
इसको हटाइए यहाँ से.
मतलब इसने गलत टाइम पे बोला, मैं तो इसकी तारीफ करने वाला था अभी, बट चलो सही है.
तुषार,
Back to earth. मैं कहने वाला था, I agree with you, my millennial friends. Sadly, the boomer in the call Sid won't be able to understand वो pragmatism क्या होता है. But हाँ, turned a corner, still debatable. I'd say that after the next 2-3 matches. 4 matches is a very small sample size for me to comment on this. And I wouldn't like to say we've
Why
turned a
4?
corner
3
after
matches,
4
no?
matches, man. It's
Not
just
4.
4 matches. So, ले और भी you're enhancing my point only. So I can't. And things that give me optimism outside of the ordinary. So early goals is one. And like we've been doing quite the opposite, right? Like where we have been playing really well, but we concede the first goal and then it's done. So that is a unique point which I mean match के बीच में समझ में आ जाता है. Like I haven't celebrated early goals in a long time. उसी से पता चल जाता है, राइट? लाइक समथिंग न्यू इज हैपनिंग. अरे हमने पहली लिवरपूल के अगेंस्ट लाइक कि पहले ही अटैक में गोल मार दिया. लाइक वी आर ऑन द रिसीविंग एंड यूजुअली. And like you mentioned about signings, every single one of them, that's also never happened, I think, perhaps in the history of whenever I followed United. For every single signing to appear at least 8 out of 10 in the first few matches, again the season is long, remains to be seen how it will unfold, but the base is there. And who knew that PL proven players would do well, right? Like rocket science solve kar di jaise. मतलब it's embarrassing as well to think about it. The next thing I wanted to say, I don't know what your take is, but you can actually sense the camaraderie and the banter. मतलब goals के बाद, match के बाद, and somehow it is driven around Cunha as well. Like I feel he has a very strong role to play in this. Pre-season, maybe I think in one of our first podcast we touched upon this, that I think maybe somebody from the Athletic or even Bruno, everybody has been speaking about Cunha very, very, very vocally about how it feels like he has been here for years. So that was very nice to see, like all their celebrations, Amad and Bumo match ke baad, how they're thanking the players and stuff. And the next little pointer I wanted to say, there are so many moments in the match where we are playing beautiful one-touch football. This has also, like, इतना ऑफन नहीं हुआ है. मतलब here and there हो जाता था. Like we of course did it under Ole at that Cardiff match. Maybe I think everyone remembers that goal, right? So abhi if Sheshko would have finished his chance, which he should have, it was a very very easy chance to finish. उसने टारगेट पे भी नहीं मारा. मतलब ऐसा गोल तो हमने मारा ही नहीं है सदियों में. That we are penetrating a team like Brighton from the middle, wherein our striker has a clear shot on goal inside the D, and there is not a defender in sight. मतलब बस वो हो जाता तो आई एम श्योर वी वुड हैव स्पोकन अबाउट इट सो मच, बट स्टिल एटलीस्ट we've done the deed. The last and the most
on that chance, three players combined, Cunha, Mbumo and Sheshko, all three are signing. So again, reiterating my point, have you ever been more convinced of a signing than Mbumo? I haven't in the longest time. The moment Mbumo was signed, I mean, yeah,
maybe RVP
12-13 साल पहले, the
मतलब
moment Mbumo was signed, he's as sure of a successful signing as you can have, in my opinion. Followed closely by Cunha. See, striker मतलब वो hit and miss हो सकते हैं, but for Mbumo and Cunha, again जैसे तूने बोला rocket science solve की हमने Premier League proven players खरीद के.
There's another thing, na?
Sorry.
One of the reasons Mbumo is also clicking is because if you notice in the last two games, right, he's like, while there was so much debate about Ruben Amorim's formation, he's actually adapted the system within the structure itself. Abhi, for example, whenever we attack, we are sort of attacking like 4-4. You always have an Mbumo partnering with the Sheshko like a second forward. So Liverpool ke against me, if you keep noticing how Lamens kept playing the long ball, we were trying to win the second ball, not the first ball. And then over the right wing, you had an Ahmad who was trying to play like an added winger. And obviously, your two central midfielders, you have someone on the left, you have a Mount or a Konya, whoever is playing at that moment. So the tactical adaptability within the system has been beautiful over the last few games.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, the fact that Ruben is now solving in-match issues more proactively, more with right substitutions, except this match, I think that's also encouraging to see कि यार जो पहले चीजें figure out नहीं हो कर पा रहे थे हमारी टीम, अभी वो या तो मैच के बीच में या पहले से वो काम करके आई है उस पे.
Also, I'll just want to sum up the last most important reason for me, at least, why I feel we've maybe turned a corner, is because we're getting the rub of the green. Matlab, we don't get that ever. Yeah. We are, I think, the last team to get any favors. Easily, that Shaw foul could have been given even after VAR. मुझे लग भी रहा था कि वो foul दिया जाएगा. Liverpool के against, how many times did they?
Yeah.
But that is all that's needed here. That's needed.
The way
yeah,
Anthony
exactly.
Taylor was
Liverpool के
against
against,
it was obvious that वो नहीं दिया जाएगा. And वो ऐसा टक था, if the referee would have given the मतलब वो foul होता, but since he played the match on, वो foul नहीं दिया गया. So I mean it was one of those decisions कि यार अगर देता भी तब भी दिक्कत नहीं थी, मतलब डाउट नहीं होता, और अगर नहीं भी दिया तो भी कोई डाउट नहीं है क्योंकि क्यों नहीं दिया. But penalty was a stonewall penalty. I mean even after the review
हाँ,
it was
we deserved the point.
mind-boggling
But
decision वो वाला.
In Liverpool, maybe like easily I mean, even though we played really well, we could have lost with them hitting the post so many times. तो थोड़ा सा एक वो feeling तो आ रही थी कि it is meant to be like that we won't lose today, and it has happened. चलो against Brighton as well, and like we'll take whatever comes, even though these are small things, but we don't have necessarily had the rub of the green, right? I think a good segue for us to move into the red zone, where we have hot takes and upcoming interesting controversial predictions. So to start off, where do you think United is going to finish the PL season 25-26? I start with Sid. Acha, okay.
Okay.
Hope you can.
नहीं, नहीं,
Yeah,
okay,
you
okay,
can
you
I
go.
thought Sid is going. Yeah. I think we'll be fifth. The reason I'm saying I don't think we will still make it to top four yet. My reason for saying that is there is also the AFCON that is coming in. We will lose two key players on the right side. You will have Ahmad going, you will have Mboma going. Obviously, we have sufficient cover this time around, fair cover, but they have not played enough within the system. I'm just trying to be a little practical there, but we have key crucial fixtures at that moment, at that time, and Mbomo is your source of majority of your goals right now. So I think fifth is still being a little hopeful, ambitious. I would take a fifth in given the circumstances that we are in, given the season we have had, the previous one, and I think it's a good progression from where we were to where we would potentially finish.
I think I'll go.
Sid?
My take is that we would finish between third and fourth. The reason being that no team is consistent right now except Arsenal in the league. No team, every team is prone to losing to any other team, including us. But I think
Yeah.
we are the informed team right now. We have decent enough fixtures for the next 15 games. I think if we are able to, generate good amount of points from this run of fixtures, we should be in a good position to finish among the top four. That's my take.
I think I agree with Sid. My bet would also be on top four. Thankfully, AFCON isn't as long as it seems, and we've had cases
Without
where
missing a
Onana
match.
has come back
Yeah,
without
yeah.
missing even a single match. Right? मतलब even though he was Onana, तो नुकसान ही हुआ होगा हमें, I'm sure. But still, like we are not. There's no guarantee that their national teams would stay in the competition for long. And yes, it would be a big hole, but gladly एक ही side पे होगा. It's not as if we are getting lopsided and we are lacking players on both sides.
Yeah.
I feel that could have been worse. मतलब ठीक है, we'll know which side to plug in and कहाँ पे हमें overload करना है. And also I have a feeling we'll buy somebody in January. And it could be a midfielder as well, or a winger. Like there could be a room for surprise. Bare minimum, I feel we could announce somebody in January who will join the upcoming window. But I have a feeling that will happen because of the World Cup. The next summer transfer window is going to be chaotic, and I think players are going to get sold for crazy fees. So January, I'm expecting a lot of
Uh,
movement. So which is why in
a
any case
small
I'll be
segue
picking
on
top four. Yeah.
The
Yeah, go
last
ahead,
time,
बोलना.
sorry, go on. I was saying the last time जब we had a World Cup, right? We had the Winter World Cup Qatar में. Most of your signings tend to always happen a little later. Now in this situation, a lot like for example Bruno's contract as well. The talks are right now not happening because he has told very clearly whatever he wants to do, he will take it up after the World Cup. I have a feeling a lot of signings that we will also try to make, right? It might have to be pushed until post World Cup if we are looking at players from countries who are
I think I agree with Dupe because
तो
we haven't
वो delay हो
historically
सकता है.
announced player, except Leon, कि हमने announce कर दिया और बाद में
हाँ.
sign किया है. That's a very Chelsea thing to do. Not that we haven't done that in my time following the club. On the transfer bit, right? A lot of people were saying that this was Baleba's audition. So how did he fare in your eyes?
I think he did what I did in my boards for my French exam. Massive failure. घर पे मैंने सबको बताया था कि 90 प्लस आएंगे और 63 आए थे मेरे 100 में से, एंड इट वाज सपोज टू बी माय स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट सब्जेक्ट. So yeah, but again, the good thing maybe, because clarity is always good, I feel this is not the first bad game he has had. So and because if this was the only bad game, then you could say that okay, boy, form is temporary, class is permanent, blah blah blah. But he's been underperforming most of the season, and but yeah, whoever we bring, it could be Wharton, could be Anderson, could be Baleba as well. I think all three are pretty good, and we have the entire season to judge them, right? And I'm sure under this management, we will make quick moves. I don't think we'll be waiting for the World Cup to get somebody in, because it's going to be chaotic, and we would want to embed them in. We would want to get them in whatever, however much we can. Jaldi to action hoga is what I'm sure under this management, and they would be PL proven players.
It will depend on who we are targeting. I mean, Baleba ka for all you know, his head might have turned after hearing
Yeah, yeah,
United's name,
absolutely
right, over the
possible.
summer, and so let's see. Let's wait
But
for how the summer
in my
goes.
opinion, whoever we sign, I
So
think
yeah.
this recruitment team has enough credit in the bank for fans to trust that जो लाएंगे सही लाएंगे in that sense.
Yeah.
I think on this note, we're speaking about somebody coming in. It's time to touch upon who's possibly going out, and that's Casemiro. It's of course unreal to see in so many ways that he's still at the club, and he's also had a very topsy-turvy situation with us, right? So, wanted to. I'm sure you've seen what Amorim said about Casemiro, about him being even behind Toby in the pecking order, right? Toby Collier, which by the way shocked me to bits. Why would you say that about like a so-called whatever world-class Champions League winning player now that he was behind? वो तो मुझे controversial लगा ही था. But yeah, what's your take now? Like, how important do you feel Casemiro is for the current
He is a
setup?
mainstay in this setup. In this starting 11, he is probably one of the most important players because the depth without Casemiro is so obvious to see, including Chelsea right now. Now, at the age that he is, he can't play 90 minutes week in, week out. So I think the call that management has taken is to give him good 60-65 minutes and then sub him in out with either Menu or Ugarte given the need of the match. But जो dip होता है, it's considerable, and that's alarming. That's a cause of concern and that's another good thing about Amorim is that the way he has tailored the 3-4-3 formation itself to suit the players that he has. I mean, people were criticizing him for that, but Casemiro is an example that he has adjusted to that. Now, coming back to Casemiro, I think I wouldn't mind giving him an extension, एक साल का extension, just to have his experience around. We can't lose Bruno and Casemiro in the same window. Just can't afford that. So that would be my take.
I don't think he'll accept a
He
reduction of
would.
wages.
I mean, I've read stories that he might accept. Both him and Maguire
I don't think so.
would be ready to accept reduction wages to stay back.
Maguire definitely would.
So
मुझे नहीं लगता Casemiro enough reduction accept करेगा, but ठीक है.
usually
remains to be seen.
whenever these contract signings also happen, right, they also have a sign-on fee that is sort of given. That's like a added upfront payment that you would get, like an advance signing bonus, and then you have your wages which are already cut down. So what he could earn over the year is pretty much sort of substantiated at the very start. So there is the possibility, again, fairly a long way to go. If you remember at one of our initial discussions on Casemiro, I felt this season, given that we have limited games, right, that will actually work in his favor, because whenever there have been lesser games, right, whenever he's come back after a fair amount of rest, he's actually played fairly well. Yes, he has this knack of going way too rash sometimes. Matlab, needless tackles, needless red card against Chelsea, for example. Uh, Small things that he can definitely improve on, even given his age and experience. But he gives us so much. I think he adds so much to the team which we don't realize. He's the mainstay when it
Yeah,
comes to headers also.
he's
कोई
excellent
cross
in both
आता है,
the
we know
boxes.
he's
Yeah.
probably going to be there. Both the boxes, and we have struggled, especially in defending set pieces. He still manages to give us some form of safety, comfort. So he's still a big, important player, at least this season. Maybe another year, I agree with Sid, शायद एक और साल दे सकते हैं.
Okay, I won't be, I think, in the favor of giving him another extension. I feel he's appearing much better because of the gaping holes in the midfield. Because clearly, like I think it's clear for everyone to see that he does not trust Menu, he does not trust Ugarte either, and they are not playing in that position anyway, right? The Amorim position,
Yeah.
for which he needs a Baleba or a Wharton or maybe Anderson, whoever else that he needs. He wants somebody who can run the other team off the pitch, and thread the ball through, and long balls as well, right? Which Casemiro can do pretty easily. You can see that, but perhaps the other two like Kobe and Ugarte, they have a lot of room for improvement. But itna to समझ में आ गया because we had enough games that if Casemiro was fit to play 90, then maybe Menu और
Yeah,
Ugarte
yeah,
की sub appearance भी नहीं होती. Maybe
Agreed.
they would only play in the cups, which is matlab, I mean it seems like a very newish problem. Like this wasn't the case before the season started, right? We would not have thought कि Menu and Ugarte खेलेंगे ही नहीं. But that is how things are evolving, which is why I feel they'll be ruthless in terms of getting somebody else in, and Bruno will stay. And I wouldn't be surprised if one of Ugarte and Menu are also let go, because why would these players want to stay? Yaar? Matlab, it's the World Cup season as well. I'm surprised they're not creating more of a ruckus right now, including Xerxes. Like I respect that you want to get out of the
But
club because you want to play, you
there's
want
a
to
way to
feature
communicate
in
that,
World
and
Cups.
that's where the culture comes in, right? So I think
Of
that's also
course.
been an improvement, but I think Menu will move on in January to a loan perhaps, because usko bhi World Cup में he has a legit chance of making to the World Cup team under Thomas Tuchel. But I think if he has a
You
good
think so?
second half of the season, see the season is still young. We don't know how it'll pan out, but अगर उसका अच्छा second half होता है,
I don't think we would let him go on loan. Why did we not do it in
because
the
we
transfer
no
window
because
then?
we
We
did
won't
not
let
know
go
how
of him.
we
We
did not
are
know
very low in
how
depth.
the midfield will
Yeah,
turn up to be.
I don't think
The
so.
way Casemiro has adapted, evolved to this particular position, I think it probably would have taken Amorim also by surprise, given his comments, right? So that
If I I feel if we had an academy player coming in, which is I think a good note that we're touching because that's the next question. If we had a good academy player coming in who would be suited to this role, then I feel maybe yes, Menu could have gone maybe in the summer window only, maybe now in January. But given the depth we have right now, and cups भी शुरू हो जाएंगे, FA Cup शुरू होगा, season will get more. I mean, it will get tougher. Injuries होंगी, suspensions will be at play. AFCON आएगा. I
okay.
don't think we'll let Menu go. And Casemiro is also always one card away
So
from
so
like
Yeah, suspension.
which means that you're saying that come summer,
many yellows.
we, in all probability, we would sign two elite midfielders. Is that what you're saying? कि Casemiro का replacement and then Menu और Ugarte का replacement.
मतलब like somebody like a Wharton and the Wharton or Anderson, and the second one could be, let's say, somebody
Wharton 21
younger
साल का
who
है.
we are not talking about. Is Diomande? No, maybe somebody, let's say, lower profile, irrespective of the age, but somebody would be cheaper, basically more reasonable, not 80, 90. Um, is Diomande a midfielder? That sporting chap.
No, he's a defender.
I
Defender,
think he's
centre
a
back.
defender. Centre back.
Okay, but yeah, somebody like him, maybe from the Portuguese league, maybe some other league, who's not as expensive and can fill the role. By the way, Muppeteers भी same ही चीज बोल रहे हैं, right? Like James has been talking about this since very long, that we are destined to sign. I mean, he feels that we will sign two midfielders in the next transfer window, and we could obviously have a surprise wherein Bruno may
I
leave as
think
well. We never know.
I'll take my words
No, I
back
think
on
Confused.
Mino leaving on loan क्योंकि AFCON आ रहा है Jan में and Bruno in all probability might take up the right forward वाला role, then it leaves a position open for Mino or Ugarte to come in the mid.
you have a Kobe coming in, you have a Mount who's thankfully stayed injury free. I still don't know his like, the best position in the current setup of how we are sort of placed. I mean, I don't know if he should be in the first 11, but obviously, yeah, Amorim trusts him, and whatever role he's been given, he gives a 7 or 8 on 10, so I'm okay. So I know he's also around. He's a good player to have in the team overall.
So, like on our last note, by the way, is the lack of academy debuts a cause for concern for Manchester United this season? Like, how does it make you feel? Um, so, frankly, I'll start with this. Not academy debuts as such, but if I was Chido, I would not be feeling too great. And ये मेरे
17.
दिमाग में पहले भी आया था, like कि
When
from
was he
getting
getting
game time regularly.
He was getting game time regularly last year
So,
in a shitty
भाई he was
situation, भाई. जहाँ पर हमें
exactly,
But that is
exactly.
not but that's not the pristine
And
situation.
where is he
That's
now?
not the pristine way to bring in a striker, right?
Yeah, but still, like, okay. So one season you play, and he was decent whenever he played. Of course, that showed that how bad our strike force was last season. He used to come and play regular sub performances, right? Deta rehta tha wo. And the reason why we were able to get him was because there was a clearer route to the first team, right? Which actually happened as well. But from that to now, wherein there is no look in at all, मेरे लिए थोड़ा सा
See,
छोटा सा कंसर्न है ये.
let me just
बाकी
chip
of
in.
course both of you can.
We are not privy to what's happening with the coaching setup at the back end, right? So he's progressed from playing in under 18 to playing men's football under 21, then EFL Cup. So he's playing men's football. He's just not playing men's football in the Premier League, which I think is the right way to go, because at the end of the day, strikers are judged based on the goals that they score in the long run. I think, developing him before introducing in the men's football is the right way to go, because cracking the striking position for an academy grad is the most difficult position to crack. And we have historical.
If I ask you, how many number 9s do we have at the club at the moment? In the club at the moment.
So you also right now, if you look at we have Shesko, right, who came in at 70 million. It's not a small amount. So you expect him to obviously start and lead this attack at every step of the matter. He's contributed fairly well. He's obviously not scored, but he's contributed 3 goals or assists in the last 4 games. He's been doing a decent job, and his build-up play, link-up play with both Mbomo and Konya has been very beautiful to watch. He's been playing fairly sleek football, decent football. Then you also have Zirkzee, who is definitely second in the pecking order, because given the lack of strikers that we have, if you
But
Yeah,
he's not a number 9.
agreed.
but he would be that kind of person who will play there. Look, no, but if you look at the front three, right, if that's what we are looking at, Akonia and Mbomo, they are also play like shadow strikers. They don't really play like pure wingers or inside forwards of sorts. They are like shadow strikers. So the way that's why one of the nicest things that happened to us were signing these particular profile of players, because they can step in with goals and play like those shadow strikers even if our key striker is not clicking. Had we not got a Shesko, I'm sure these guys would have still played well,
And
hypothetically,
I
obviously,
hope I'm
but
audible.
that's one of the other reasons.
So it's the
Yeah, you are.
so the best
Yeah, you
way
don't need to raise your finger like that.
Okay, thank you, Tushar, for teaching me camera etiquettes. So the best way to integrate an academy grad, right, and that's what James has always mentioned, is to bring him on sparingly first, develop him properly, then integrate him into the sport training and stuff, and then give him sub appearances. Do not make him the main headline and bring him in as the second supporting cast or the immediate supporting cast. Right now, the need of the hour, maybe probably for Chido Obi, is to develop him fully in the academy setup or the under 21 setup, and then look at a loan and then come in, because he had a lot of rough edges. Even even in the previous season that he played for us,
Yeah.
right? So that's the right call in my opinion. Now on that note, I think, huh,
He it did feel like, sorry, एक point था. He
yeah,
did
yeah,
feel like
absolutely, absolutely.
he's a
But
boy
but
playing in
हमारा
men's football.
forward line इतना underperform कर रहा था that वो ही upgrade लग रहा था, and that goes to show how bad we were last season. Now coming back on the academy front, I think to answer your original question, I would be surprised. Yes, I am a little concerned that there haven't been major big breakthroughs. But the fact that we are not playing in the cup competitions, we are not playing in Europe, has also contributed. We only have a limited number of matches, and the situation that we have been in, maybe that is the right call to not expose these young players and bring down their morale right away. But I think AFCON will provide opportunities to the likes of Lacey, to start getting a few minutes, is what I feel. Uh, I would be surprised अगर I doubt if Cheeto will get minutes because Cheeto की जो
Cheeto?
पोजीशन है उसमें शेष्को ऑलरेडी है, जर्सी है, रिश्ते ने बोला. I would be surprised अगर एक भी डेब्यू नहीं होता इस साल. अभी तक एक नहीं हुआ है, that's concerning for me, but I would be absolutely shocked if we do not get Shea Lacey's debut by the end of the season. That's my hot take.
There's
Yeah.
also Seiko Kone. Given the our major discussion over this podcast has been on midfield, right, and partnering Bruno apart from Casemiro, there is still a chance that he might make his debut for all we know.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I would bet for a midfielder to play sooner. But then again, I am concerned about what impact it could have on Menu and Ogate. Like how it is played. I'm sure it's not an easy decision to make. Like we're just playing a match a week. That will change come the new year. But yeah, it's not been easy, and it's not like we've had the. I mean, it's been a really good start, but it's been up and down as well, especially for the first few matches. So we've not really had the luxury to experiment as much, right? Um, so yeah, I think I can speak for all of us when I say that we are all looking forward to the return of Licha, Lisandro Martinez. I think he could be a very good asset to an already growing team. He would be clearly one of the leaders. He would be easily one of the best ball playing defenders we have. He would give us that left foot, right foot balance as well. And I see a lot of like Cunha in him as well. Like the same thing, like going after every ball, that ruggedness, that doggedness, and that I want to win every challenge. Sort of Vida jaisa karta tha. Like you can't put that into words too much, but you can sense it in a player. The way they tackle, the energy, and the in a way adrenaline. Like you can see that, right? So I am pretty much looking forward to Martinez coming back. It could be, but it will be interesting to see who drops out.
Yeah.
Like if and when he is in a starting 11,
I think as
then
much as
who
we
drops
all
out? That
would
would be
love,
another difficult decision to.
Lisandro coming back, I don't think it would be easy for him to displace Shaw, given the form that Shaw has been in, and he's been trusted by all the managers, right, so far. I think इतना आसान नहीं होगा उसको displace करना. Maybe
Yeah.
Lisandro becomes the substitute act for Shaw. Who knows?
Or
And I'm sure it'll take
What I'm
him
saying is that
at least
it's not a
4-5
guarantee
matches
that
to
will
get
ever
back up
happen
to.
under Amorim. Is my take. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Especially after Dilit's
I think he
resurgence,
has
right?
his front back three set.
yeah, I wouldn't play him in the center. Yeah, as much as I like the Butcher, I don't think I would play him in the center. It is my preference to still keep him over the left side. I would. I'm more. I feel more comfortable and safer with a
No,
Maguire or a Delict in the center.
Are you going to be using nicknames for every player for the rest of the podcast now?
ना ना.
Casually? तेरी तो रोज ही बात होती है मतलब भाई है अपना
Licha.
अर्जेंटीना से हाँ वीडियो कॉल होती है भाई ये तो अलग ही बहन कैसी है उसकी
अरे सो एक ट्रू स्टोरी बताता हूँ. कतर में when I went to watch the World Cup, some Argentinian reporter came to all of us and asked us कि who are you here for? His answer was expectation was Messi only. तो हम सबने Messi बोला. Like which other player are you looking forward to seeing? मैंने लीचा बोल दिया. He was surprised. Like पूरी दुनिया छोड़ के लीचा का नाम कैसे लिया? He's not even playing in the team.
I think some technical issues because videos are getting stuck. Glad meri to nahi ruk rahi, but moving on. I think the final section of today's sit down, we have Fergie time as always. To start that off, what are your prediction for the next game? So United versus Forest, we're playing away, right? So Forest ke ground pe.
All
What do you
all away
reckon?
games
Like,
until December.
So
what
नहीं,
I
what do
think
you
I
reckon? What's
think
going to be the final score line? And if you want to just
it would be a
sprinkle
2-0
some
win,
goal scorer names as
in my
well.
opinion. नहीं, हम जीतेंगे.
Forest जीतेगा ना?
Sheshko and Mbumo to be the goal scorers.
Okay. And
Tushar,
Gopi?
okay. I think it'll be a 3-1. I'm not too sure उनकी साइड से कौन स्कोर करेगा. I just sense that we may give away one goal because we are also trying to play on the front foot. So up, there are possibilities कि हम थोड़ा किन हो सकते
Sean
हैं
Dyche
इधर
has
उधर से.
taken over Nottingham
Also, we have
Forest
conceded
play
some number of goals.
now. And
Yes.
yeah, Sean Dyche.
Dyche ball.
Dyche ही बोला
Sean
तेरा
Dyche,
network
Sean
खराब
Dyche का brother है वो.
है. पहुंचते. Dyche है Dyche है.
Dyche ही है भाई वो.
अच्छा, ठीक है.
Dyche.
They call his brand of
हाँ,
football
so-
Dyche ball.
So I think he is notorious for playing a low block, which means that United will have all the possession, and 3-1 मुश्किल है. I mean, I doubt. I don't think we will score that many goals. I think 2-0 is my prediction. 3-1 Bhupinder's. Tushar.
Nee, and given, मतलब I agree with you, given your years and years of experience at Sonesta FC. Um, बुप्पी को शायद बुप्पी उसका सोसाइटी नेम याद कर रहा है क्या?
जो जिन जोक्स को एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ता है
Veracious
उसको नहीं
Sonesta
मारते,
FC.
वो लैंड नहीं किया.
क्योंकि ये इनसाइड जोक है भाई, इनसाइड जोक है. एक डिक्शनरी गूगल करके भी देख ले, जीपीटी यूज कर ले if that suits you. So my prediction would have been 2-0, but I can't agree with the boomer clearly. And I have a feeling that their new manager Bounce is going to get them a goal at least. So I'd be predicting 2-1 to keep things interesting. I would love for this to be an easier win, but yeah, Forest के ground में एक तो वही every team after they sack their manager वो हमारे साथ ही मैच खेलते हैं, मतलब अलग ही फिक्स सीन चलता है यहाँ पे. But yeah, I would say 2-1, and Bruno would score, and not too sure about Sheshko. Maybe another one could be like a header by maybe Casemiro, maybe a defender, another defender. So
I have some interesting trivia to share with you guys. So before Lamin started playing at goal, right, when we had Bayendir and Onana, the average possession we kept this season, which was obviously a few games, it was around 60%. So we kept most of the possession. After Lemons has come in, our possession has fallen down roughly about 40-42. So that's nearly a 20% dip in keeping possession. And it will be interesting given that Forest also will play the low block. This is the first time they will actually ensure that we try to keep more of the ball. So it will be a very fascinating game to watch from that lens.
but I guess that's also like a team thing rather than just a Lemons thing, right?
No.
Like this drop in possession.
There is another reason. So once Lamens has come in, almost he tries to play everything in the long ball, the route that he's been taking, right?
which is a team and manager's call, right?
No, but under Onana and Bayendir, they kept playing a lot of sideway passes to the defenders. That change has come in thanks to Lamens because he's also very proficient with his foot. अच्छा kick कर रहा है,
Exactly.
and we are trying to fight for the second ball, not exactly for the first ball. Plus,
Yeah.
given that we have Shesko, there is a higher possibility that we could win that first ball also if the ball is being played towards the center. So a lot of interesting tactical changes have
I
happened
think
after
on
he
that
has come in
note,
at goal as well.
his presence has been
sorry.
transformative. Under Onana or Bayendir, if I felt that we would concede on every shot. Well, I mean, any shot on goal, it would have more than 30-40% chance of it being scored. With Lemons, that assurance that you have with a reliable keeper, and that's all we have been asking for a reliable keeper who gives 8 on 10, 8 9 on 10 every match, doesn't make mistakes, keeps things tidy, simple. बेसिक चीज है गोल, मतलब कॉर्नर में जो बॉल उसके पास है, क्रॉस कंफर्टेबली पकड़ना। आई मीन वो उस पे इतना शोर मच रहा है, दैट्स अ हाइजीन फॉर एनी एलीट गोलकीपर। So credit where it's due. I think he has been a transformative signing for sure.
And what do you think our starting lineup is going to look like? Do you feel there's going to be any change from how we started last match? I feel like I'll start. I feel maybe just if Maguire would have been fit, he would have definitely gotten chosen for Forest due to just his aerial presence and stuff. I'm
His
not sure if
injury is
he's fit,
minor and
right?
he started
So I don't.
rehab work. I think Forest game might be too soon for him, but he should be ready for the Tottenham game.
It is Daishi.
Okay, bye.
मतलब एडमिन म्यूट कर सकता है क्या यहाँ पे लोगों को? देखना पड़ेगा. So I don't see our lineup getting changed. Euro, but I don't see who he will be playing in place of. I think everybody else is going to look like how we started against Brighton. But maybe Mount. I don't know. I don't know if he'll go back to Mount.
I think we will start with the same team
Or not. How about you?
I'll go so far as saying that this is our strongest 11. The one that played in the match against Brighton is our strongest 11, including Shaw in the team, including Dallo in the team. That's the strongest 11 in my opinion. So we will play with that team wherever given an option.
I think we'll play with the same team, but if there is any change, it might be Mount, simply because we will have more possession. I have a feeling he's better with the ball. Obviously, we haven't seen that much of Šeško.
Isn't he better
keeping
without the ball
even.
than with the ball? Mount.
But that's the
Isn't
only
that
reason. A bit of both actually, because
Mount.
he's all right. His range of passing is good. His work rate is better. He is a creative midfielder, right? So he will be someone who can
Fair
progress with the ball to a great extent. So
And he actually feels like as close a player as Amorim would want.
yeah,
मतलब वो Amorim type ही player लगता है in terms of how his movement, his agility, his of course stamina, endurance, the way he could he pressurizes right players and he leads the pressure in so many occasions. And of course technically on the ball as well he's pretty neat. But yeah, it's a tough choice between him and Šeško, right? It's not very straightforward.
I mean Šeško has
And
done nothing
Šeško
wrong.
has his
Yeah.
no, not at all. Not even a little bit. Like even if he would have not
Yeah,
scored,
absolutely.
I still like watching him play.
Yeah.
And not just because he's good looking. Matlab, he's putting a good shift on the pitch as well. So, will we see a reversal in our away form? Like,
It's suckier than it
is our
seems.
away
We-
form
we-
as sucky as it
I think
seems?
this season it reads 3 losses, 1 draw, 1 win. The win being against Liverpool. And if you go back to the last season, it's been horrible. So I think every Nottingham Forest, while the new manager bounces there, but I think there is a gulf in the quality of two teams, and we are peaking at the right time, or rather going towards the peak at the right time, and they are still, figuring out how to play. So I think in that sense, this match has come at the right time. Tottenham would be a difficult match, but I think this should be a fairly straightforward match, in my opinion.
In any case, with our
Yeah.
scoreline predictions, we've kind of answered this anyway, right? That we do see a reversal in our away form. And like Bhuppi mentioned, I think our upcoming matches are all away. So Spurs would be interesting. And it's nice to know that Spurs is shit at home. Their away form is incredible,
I think
but they keep
Spurs
losing
against
at home.
United
So
form
that
goes out of the
keeps
window,
us in
especially
good
from
stead.
a Spurs standpoint. They always tend to turn up against us in the recent years, in the last 2-3 years at least. So I mean, it'll always be a difficult match. Spurs away. Yeah, absolutely.
They are eccentric. It is. Let's take it one game at a time. want to see us win against Forest. The good thing is, see, we have got good players who are making other players around them better. We have players like that in every position right now. Our keeper is making a defense better. We have a Konya and a Mbumo making the midfield and forward line better. So I'm banking on that to take us through
So
and help
I
us
have a
with
last
a
question
win.
before we
Much
conclude,
needed
and I
win.
think Tushar was moving on to the
Okay.
conclusion. No, I. Do you have
I
the
have a
last word?
last
Let me have
question.
the
I'll
last
have the
question.
last word.
ठीक
I'll
है.
have the last word.
Who
I will have the last word.
ठीक है यार.
Sid has the penultimate
Uh,
question then.
whom would you see as the top scorer come the end of the season? Tushar.
Early signs Mbumo.
I think we asked each other this question even in our first podcast. I'm not sure what our answers were. I have a feeling I said Cunha. Uh, difficult to bet against Mbumo and the way we play at the moment.
I think,
But
yeah,
Sid, but would
absolutely.
you
I think
agree
it would
with
be Mbumo,
Guppy?
and I think he will cross the 15 goal mark for the season, in my opinion, in Premier League.
Will he go ahead of Salah?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Will he have a better season than Salah? Early signs.
But but early signs, it doesn't seem like a very big thing anyway, right? To be ahead of Salah, given how him and his team are performing.
No,
But yeah,
not
do you see
15. I
anyone
think
else getting past 15
Cunha would touch
across
10.
all
Sheshko would touch 10 or
all
12.
competitions?
That's about it. I think that's where we would land up at. And 7-8 goals each for Casemiro and Bruno.
Yeah, I sort of
Okay,
agree.
so
Tushar?
to close this, I wanted to ask a few quick fire questions. Firstly, do you feel United needs any January signings? Just yes or no. And if you say yes, then please
Yes,
say which
left wing
position
back.
do we.
Semenyo. Dream signing.
Okay, and how about you, Whoopi?
Yes, central midfield. Potential replacement for Casemiro, someone who can be groomed. Because we lose a lot of midfield battles. That center is still a bit exposed in a lot of our games. And we need a proper thorough runner. Uh,
Yeah, I agree. Like, definitely we need January signings, not even signing. Of course, if next season transfer window में होता है summer में, that's fine by me. But a midfielder definitely over a wing back, and Anderson would be my pick right now. But
No.
next thing is, do you think we would make any January signings?
yes, for some youth player who will
No
be
first
fairly
team signing.
unknown, but no prominent signings. Yeah, no first team signings. Signings for the future, perhaps.
So I think we will make a first team signing. Let's see how that goes. I think on that note, we can wrap this up. So please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share it with your friends and family. We clearly haven't done that till now, but at least you could do that. As clear in terms of our picture quality, especially Sid's, we need brand deals coming in very quickly. So yeah, see you on the next podcast, maybe after a couple of months. But yeah, signing
Bye bye.
off. See you soon, hopefully after another victory. Bye bye.
Cheers.